Alright, this is a tour of camping on the Gulf, or Camp Gulf here in Destin, Florida. We're going to start out actually on the beach, which is why everybody comes here. White sand. It is directly on the beach, as you'll see when we pan around. Coincidentally, there's a couple companies that teach how to do sandcastles, so there'll be some nice ones left on the beach most days. But the front row, as you see, is literally beachfront. Now, positives and negatives of the beachfront, obviously. Lots of sand in your RV. Also, these front row pieces don't have sewer, so they just have water and electric. There's a pump service that comes out daily to do these things, or every other day, whatever it is. Morning. Now there's beach access on both sides. This is the east side beach access, and literally right down the way there's an additional access on the west side. Now this road that comes through is one way. This first row is the 800s. I believe these are also 800s. Over here we've got the 500s along the wall. And then this little island is set up higher, which is nice because if you have a Class A, it can look over the other RVs and you have a nice little view of the ocean as well. Steps over to the island. If you're deciding what site you want, positives and negatives, being on the wall, you have considerably less wind. This is Florida, that's the Atlantic Ocean. There's windy days. On the wall, less wind. On the island, a little more wind. Front row, all the wind. Backs directly up to the houses. The entirety of this wall row, pretty deep. You see 45-foot Class A's, big fifth wheels, pretty much everything can fit. The bulk of the islands are the same way. We're going to sneak through. There's two of these bathhouses. We're just going to sneak through to show you what they look like, and then we'll continue back out on the main road. See it? Shower, sink, toilet. They're always kept clean. There's maybe a dozen in here. Next bathhouse is a little bit smaller, but exactly the same layout. Still just as clean. Back out onto the main road. Now here, at the end of the island, there's some of the really long sites. You can see these pull-throughs. Some of the only pull-throughs that they have here. There's a couple more on the islands. There's also a couple of these buddy sites, if you decide that you want to have the buddies set up. And I believe that after this last buddy site of 748, you get to the couple super long ones over there. I've seen some very large rigs with full trailers over there. I'm gonna step up. Here's the pond. There's little turtles and such in there. I'm just walking on the sidewalk so that the cars can come on pass by. These few sites, we're gonna see 534, 533, and a couple in each direction. You'll notice this is where the overflow comes through. Booking these sites means that if there's a big heavy rain, the water kind of hangs out over here. They pump it out, but just keep that in mind. This is the activity center. We'll catch that as we circle back around. You also notice some extra blocks on this side. As it ramps back up through here, these sites are less level. If you have a smaller rig, usually doesn't matter, but even the Class A's, they can get it up there. You just need a couple extra blocks. This is the unheated pool, we'll call it. There's two pools here, one's heated, one's not heated. This one has the slide. It's got different things. There used to be 2 slides, now there's just the one large one. We'll give you a little peek at it. A nice pool when it's warm weather. You'll see lots of people here, especially the kids. The slide's real fun, very fast. The other pool, which I'll show you, is heated. They keep it nice and warm all year long. So that's the one we've been using because we stayed here for the bulk of the winter. Coming up into here, the 400s row on my left, still 500s on the right. This is where you get the shade. Personally, if I was staying here in the heat of the summer, this is probably where I would stay. In the winter, wasn't quite nearly as necessary. As you get closer to the street though, on the 500 side, they do get a little bit shallower. So you can still see some of the medium-sized fifth wheels and such still fit, but it's definitely less space. Whereas on the 400 side, it stays pretty big. You can see big 45-foot Dutch Star over here, fits no problem. This is the laundry house down the middle. Give you a quick little peek at that. They use apps or quarters in there. They've got trash in a few spots around here. That's one of them. They've got the speed limit signs. They have the speed limit that they do here is 5 miles an hour. So you sneak over that and it tells you to slow down, of course. Like I was saying over here in the 400s row, these are really big sites, lots of shade, but obviously farther from the beach. So everything has its trade-offs. Now the layout of the RV park is basically one long skinny piece of land. It's set up basically with one-way road. This is the road leading out. Where we come in, I'll show you the road leading in. Pretty simple. As we wrap up here at the end of the 500s on our right and the 400s here on our left, you can see they stay nice and big. In the 400 section, the 500s again got nice and narrow. This is the secondary bathhouse. Looks just like the other one we walked through. Doubles as the storm shelter if you're ever in need of that when you're here. We've been through a couple of tornado watches and warnings. You'll see somebody's actually utilizing the high pressure hose, which is there. This is the dump station if you should need it. As of right now, the high pressure hose doesn't have a charge, which is good. A lot of people will go over there to get the sand off of their vehicles. This is the secondary, the heated pool with spa. I'll show you that as well in just a minute. If you need to have your propane filled, they have you come up here to the front. They take care of that for you. Also, an extra trash on the way out. There's an ice machine. We were here again for the winter. I think today's high is 62, so very few people grab an ice, but it is there. Maintenance over here. We're sneaking all the way out to the road so you can get an idea what it's like to come in. I know that's what I look for most when I'm looking at these videos because I got a relatively large rig and I'm always wondering what's the best approach. They rent golf carts here. It's golf carty area. There's some overflow parking over here. You'll see this is the exit. This is Florida 98. Nice busy road. It's super fun to try to make a left out of it. Camp Golf sign. A couple quick things I'll show you is they have a massive sign. So you can see it from both ends. When you're coming in from the 98, regardless of the direction, you know when you're coming up on it, it won't sneak up on you. You also, enter is very clearly marked. When you come in here, a couple spots, 3 traffic, RV check-in, RV check-in. This is the office. When you pull in, they want you to pull in here. They usually hop out immediately and get you through the gate because you're actually going to check in usually in the gift shop. But if it's after hours, they've got the after hours details there and a box right over here. Also inside of the front is the mail room right here and a small gift shop. So if you receive mail here, you'll be coming in the back door. They'll give you a gate code. Everybody has their own. Here's the heated pool, currently being used by the water aerobics team. And there's also a spa as well. I will say that pool is very warm. Of the places we've stopped, it's probably the warmest heated pool. There was never a day cold enough we couldn't get in the pool. Same for the spa. The spa was exceptionally hot to the point where you will overheat if you hang out in it too long. All right, so we're coming in the one-way direction. Had you come to check in, you're gonna go straight when you come in. I'll show you down where you end up doing the full check-in now. Both these sites are nice. You'll also notice they have some cabins, cottages, whatever you want to call it. This last little row over here, there's maybe a dozen or so of them. This is the 300s row on our left, 200s on our right. Both of them are pretty large on most sites. Benefit of being up here is farther from the sand. If you don't want sand, you got much less wind because you're further from the ocean. You've got shade if you get the right spot. Between the 300s and 400s row, there is a sidewalk that walks through there, so you can walk from the pool to the bathhouse to the laundry without having to walk out here on the main road like I am. But obviously with the 5-mile-an-hour speed limit, that's just fine as well. Here's a fairly open one to give you an idea of size. You've got a Class B plus in there. This is site number 3115. You could fit a few of them in there. Obviously, regardless how big your rig is, you're going to fit in the 300s row. Same is probably true for the 200s row here. You'll notice here on the right is the street the cabins come in at. They just kind of loop through right when we came in the beginning. Cabins 4 through 11 on our right. Some interesting ones are over here inside here between the 300s and 400s rows. There's some extras that are technically 400 spots, but there's just a few in there, and I believe to get into there you have to back into your spot from over here, which for those of us that are decent at backing up, not the end of the world. But if it's your first time and you're not super comfortable backing up, I would not encourage you to go into the interior spot 419. It looks like 420, 421, and 422. We're back to the other side of the unheated pool. You get this view of the slide. This is also the community fireplace. They turn it on most nights unless it's too windy or too rainy. Now, had you pulled in and pulled straight forward, you would come up here to the activity center. They want you to park right along here, and then you'll sneak through those double doors there, and you will get the rest of your check-in packeted information. This is also a very large spot. This is where you would unhook if you had a towed vehicle. If you had a fifth wheel and you had to get something out of the garage, this is where you do it. That's the same road we came in at. I'm just going to give you a preview over here of the activity center. This is like overflow activity center over here. Actually, this is the first day they've taken the sides off because it's finally warming up. In the winter, they have sides on this. They've got little heaters and such in there. That way, if there's something big going on, you'll have this space and the interior space. You can see plenty of setup to do lots of things. TVs, pool tables, games. They do all sorts of things inside of the activity center. Potlucks in the winter, they do them every Tuesday. I know they do a big Thanksgiving dinner. Same for Christmas. On Fridays, a lot of times there's a band there. My son got to play with the band quite a few times this winter. Always something fun going on inside the activity center. There is a sport court here, and then the small child's playground. We saw that as we were walking back through. If you notice, that's the same road we came in on. That pretty much wraps up the entire tour. This is camping on the Gulf. We've stayed here quite a few times. Best place that we can find that's on the beach there. Other big thing you're going to notice here too is there's a lot of nice folks here that stay year after year after year. We know people that have stayed well over 10 years here, so they know people around here. They're fun to chat with and know about what's going on. So enjoy.